welcome back. So in this particular segment, we're going to be discussing yet another asset that a father adds to his family. A present father, a father that's involved, a father that cares for his children, at times finds himself in a position where he has to offer discipline to his children. Now, in some cases, the discipline is corporal punishment, but in a lot of cases, discipline involves training. Discipline involves imparting to your children, your son and your daughter, the right way to handle things. And this particular video segment is one that is no different. This father is having to readjust his son, but he picks a very unique way to do it. So let's get into the video and find out. Yes, let's see what's going on.
All right, everybody, welcome to You Better Listen to Your Dad 2018. Any of y'all know me know I've got two wonderful children, Hayden, my son at 10, and my daughter, Temperance, at 8. Well, my son has finally got in trouble on the bus enough to where he got actually kicked off the bus for 3 days because he was being a little bully, which I do not tolerate, cannot stand, and therefore he has to now run to school. We're right about 1 mile from the school, so all week he has got the experience of running to school. The good news is, hey guys, he keeps up a pretty good mile pace at 6 miles an hour so far. Yesterday he was apparently a little rude for Michelle in the morning, so even though it's raining this morning, he still gets to run. This right here is just simple. You know, ironically, since he's been running to school this week, his behavior has been much better. His teachers have approved of his behavior this week. He hasn't gotten in trouble at school this week, where last week he was just absolutely out of his mind. But this right here is just old school simple parenting. This ain't killing nobody. This is a healthy way for a child to be punished because it's, you know, exercise, something that a lot of people don't think children should do anymore, so you just stick them behind an Xbox for the rest of their lives. So this right here is called parenting, guys. If you don't know what it's like, here you go. Teach your child a lesson. You don't have to kill them. You don't always have to beat them, but sometimes it sucks for them, and that's what teaches them. So he's going to be a very fast runner later on because we've always joked he'll either be fast or obedient. So far we're working on fast. But yeah, so we've got a little ways to go. Just wanted to show everybody, give you a good little laugh. But yeah, Thornhill household does not tolerate it. If you don't do what you're supposed to, you'll get punished. And, you know, I get creative with stuff. I've done all kinds of different things, but we're going to make sure that one way or another, his teachers are able to enjoy his company at school. He's not disrupting his classmates and everything else. So if you say we need gun control, people, you know, here you go. This is what we need. Parenting. Very simple thing. Proud gun supporter, love guns and everything else, but I love my children more than anything in this world. So I'm going to take initiative to raise them. You know, I can't lock them in my safe like I can guns. You know, I can control guns easily forever. This I've got to make sure I control now, because when I'm not around, he has free will. So, you know, if you want to figure out what to do, having issues, get creative, be a parent. Teach them how to be responsible for their own lessons and accountable for everything they've done. And make sure you're there. You know, my son, in this whole deal the other morning when he knew he was in trouble, he told his sister, he goes, Daddy's always there for me. He goes, Daddy's never left me. Daddy's always been by my side. Sometimes I don't like it, but that's what makes him a great dad, because he knows when to bust my butt, and when I'm in trouble, he has to make sure I do right. And that's why he's the best daddy in the world. Coming from a 10-year-old little boy that knew he was going to have to run a mile to school, acknowledging that, hey, that's what a parent's supposed to do. If I screw up, I've got to pay the price. So, you know, my kids do something, that's what they do. They have to pay the price. You know, if they get an allowance, they get fined, just like in real life, people. So teach your kids, most importantly, don't be a friend, be a parent. That's what children need these days, parents. So hope everybody enjoys this, gets a laugh. If you got your panties in the water over watching a kid jog, well, I feel sorry for you. You're probably a lousy piece of because if a kid jogging offends you, then get your ass off the couch. You probably need a lap or two. But I'm sure someone will get all bent out of shape. Oh my God, child abuse, a child running. Yep, I'll let you know when your son's getting a 45 out of my safe. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless and enjoy. And if you need anything for your kids, you can feel free to send them to Brian's Boot Camp. No charge. Happy to get kids going. Thank you, guys.
All right. So, of course, the kind of discipline that Mr. Thornhill, Brian Thornhill, subscribes to, I am fully in agreement with. And really, if you look at the result of what he's doing, evidently it's working. Because Brian mentioned that the behavior of his son drastically changed, and he is a joy to be around now. But now, what brought them to this particular point? What brought them to the point where this particular discipline was necessary? Well, notice a couple of things that I took down in my notes. He was kicked off the bus. He was kicked off the bus actually for being a bully. His son was. And so he was given the task to run to school. Their home is about a mile from the school where his son attends. And he mentioned that one morning his son decided to be a little bit disrespectful to his mother. And so now the son is running in the rain. Now, at first look, some people might say, and I'm sure some people that's watching this video, because it's an older segment that I just ran into, and I thought it was interesting for us to dive into and talk about. There are some individuals looking at this particular video and they're going to have a problem. There's some people that are going to look at this video and say that this is child abuse. So what I want you to do right now, if you're in that group, I want you to click off right now. Because what's happening is something that's necessary. What's happening is that we see a father taking charge of his responsibilities as head of his household, and he's disciplining his son effectively. How do we know? Because in the video, Mr. Thornhill made the statement that his son acknowledged the fact that the discipline was something that he needed. He acknowledged the fact that his father was the best father ever because of the fact that he was always there with his son, whether he needed discipline or not. And that is the mark of fatherhood. That is the mark of true positive masculinity. Listen, in the world that we live in, there are rules. There are situations that the rules of engagement have already been written, and we have to act according to those rules of engagement. But now, it's unlikely that a person is going to respond well to those rules if they never grew up within structure. So did you notice what Mr. Brown said? He said, listen, if you do something that you're not supposed to in our household, you're going to be punished. And so what he's teaching his son and his daughter is respect for the rules. These are the rules that we set out as a household, and we're going to follow these rules, or else there's going to be repercussions. And so what he's doing is he's laying out structure. And he's getting his son accustomed to being obedient to the rules. And believe it or not, young men need rules. Matter of fact, they flourish under rules. Because as men, we think more logically. And so if you can help your son or your daughter to appreciate what rules accomplish, appreciate that, saying that there will be no disrespect of teachers, of grown-ups, of your mother. Later on down the line, that child will find out that that's invaluable, because a lot of times respect will get you into places that your paper degree will not. And so it's necessary to already have that inculcated in the child. It's necessary to teach them that. And this is the particular rule that Mr. Thornhill is teaching his son. Respect is necessary. Either you respect us, individuals in authority, adults, or you're punished. So how is that any different from the real world, where that happens all the time? So do you see the correlation between the two? A set of rules and structure at home for your children will help them to adapt better to the world around them. When they're going to the world, the notion that rules govern the way that they speak and think and move won't be foreign to them. It'll be something that they can readily accept, because this is the same standard that was set for me at home. But now, one thing I want to really dive into is that Mr. Thornhill said something toward the end that I think was very apropos. He said, don't be a friend, be a parent. Be a parent. So What does that mean? Where was he coming from? Well, I'll make this very simple. A friend is not someone who looks to correct your behavior. In most instances, your friends have the same viewpoint that you have. But as parents, our main objective is to help our children be as productive as they possibly can in society. And so there are going to be instances where discipline is necessary. There are going to be instances where the child has to be corrected. There are going to be instances where you all are going to disagree. And so in those instances, because you have been given the authority to be a parent, exercise that authority. It's not about being difficult. It's not about holding some kind of dictatorship in your home as a husband or a father. But what it's about is influencing your children to move in the proper direction. If there are rules that have to be abided by, that's no problem for them because that's how they grew up. And then you'll notice a funny thing too, because I noticed it within myself. Because of the fact that I was raised with certain rules and expectations, then as I begin to get older, then I began to expect more from myself in regards to how I applied the rules around me. That's why I say that young men, especially when exposed to structure and when given rules in regards to how they operate, they can flourish. Because what you're basically doing is you're providing direction through instruction. And that direction, they need that. Because you think about an individual who is going on a long trip. They have no idea how to get from point A to B. And so the whole trip is frantic because you're constantly searching for which way you need to go, as opposed to an individual who has a map. They've already charted which direction they're going to go to start at A and make it to B. So there's a bit of comfort that's associated with it. There's a bit of surety because now I know which way I'm supposed to be going. And so in setting rules and discipline in the family, that's what fathers are doing. They're helping their children to get from point A to B with a certain level of surety. And so I applaud Mr. Thornhill. Mr. Brown, I think you're doing a wonderful job. And I guarantee you that his son is going to grow up to be someone that's both accountable and responsible. And those are the kind of children that we appreciate, don't we? Those have been my thoughts. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Be easy.